Swirls Upon Twirls is a brand new paper pack, and Teresa has been busy making projects with it, and we would love for you to come play with us. Well, as you can see, Swirls Upon Twirls is, guess what? All about swirls and twirls all over it. And at paperwishes.com, I'll show you every single page and everything. So rather than doing that now, let's just get into Teresa's projects, and I'll show you the paper that she used. And isn't this pretty? Now, what I love is, well, of course, what I love is how Teresa did it. So here is the full-size sheet, and you can see it's got the lavender. Lavender and teal are the primary colors, with some gold in this paper collection. And you can see that she has used the paper just starting right here for the front of her card. I love the fact that she used some vellum. Vellum, absolutely, I love, and it's easy to forget about vellum. This is our dotted vellum, so there's white on top of the vellum, and Teresa has torn it. So we'll get in just a little bit closer so you can see that. And she glued a strip of it to the center of this paper before she attached it to the front of her card. And that's a technique that Teresa does all the time. But I just love that look, and it's kind of fun to have the dots in it, because in some of the papers there are dots also. Now, when you tear vellum, this may be scary, but because for some people tearing is no fair creasing at first, because you're not going to get a torn edge, you're going to get a straight edge. So just start tearing and just bring it across, let it do its thing, and you're going to get kind of a white edge. And this is actually, the measurements are in the gallery, which is where the directions are. So just do it like this, and it's done, and it's easy, and it's foolproof, kind of. So as I said, cut this piece, then wrap this around it, glue the ends to the back. Now, she did the same thing with this ribbon, and the ribbon is from our white ribbons, that set, and she has also placed a piece across here. She used the white crepe paper in that area, and then glue it to the front of your card. You can tie a bow. The dazzles here are so perfect with this collection. As a matter of fact, we really recommend using them. This is the 99 words dazzles, 2 sheets. They're both 8 inches by 9 inches, and you can see all the words that are on there just work so beautifully and perfectly. We're going to see those again. Now, so she put fabulous onto her vellum. Then there are some little circles and flowers and things on here. So she just added a couple right on the corner, as you can see it. And then to pick up the purple color, she added jewel dazzles into the center of those dazzles right there. So that works nicely. And speaking of purple, Teresa also added, these are the Violet Country Blooms from our friends at 49th and Market. And you can see how just a couple of blooms and a little bit of a leaf just carry out the purple color. Beautifully done. Now, Teresa certainly could have used our purple ribbons had she wanted to go that way. She chose to really let the purple flowers and that black dazzles really pop, and that works really, really nicely. Now, the inside of her card, she's done something else, and this is using this paper. Now, this paper in the collection has a design in the center. What's nice about that is exactly how Teresa used it. You can see that she went to the top and she did her piece right here. Well, that means that she's got imagery that she can use on the other side for other cards too. If you're doing scrapbook pages, you can put your photos on either side and have a distinctive center area on your page. So that's what she's done here. And she has also done a strip of the vellum right there. I think you can kind of see it. Vellum makes things underneath it look ghosted, and that's another one of its properties. Now, this sheet right here is also part of the collection. And let me see, let me grab it for you. And here it is. So you're going to get a sheet of cutouts. Those cutouts all have words, except 2 of them are plain, so that you can computer journal, you can add dazzles, you can do whatever you want, you can stamp on them. And so that's part of the Swirls Upon Twirls collection. So that's going to work beautifully, and you can see it's used right there. More of the dazzles have been added. And there you've got the finished card. So that just works super, super nicely. Now, that's a card, but how about for scrapbookers? Let's show them some love, and we'll back up a little bit just so we can really get the full expanse of this scrapbook page. So this is 12 by 12, which is what these papers are. That first sheet that I showed you, Debbie turned it sideways, and she has placed her photos in a diagonal on the front. So she's matted all of them on the papers. She added black cardstock to the grouping. And then Debbie also did something else. One of our old friends is the design toolkits. Now, number 7 is the one that she used. Now, you may think that everyone in the world has a die cutting machine, but it isn't true. And what's wonderful about the design toolkits is that you're going to get these large shapes on a ring that you can simply place on the paper, trace around it, remove this, and then cut it out. You can mat it as Debbie has done here, and it works perfectly. And you know, for the price for a design toolkit, I think it's $6.99, $7.99. You couldn't even attach one cutting die for that price, let alone all the ones that are in here. There are 17 shapes. So that's just a really fun thing, kind of a blast from the past. In addition to what we see here, Debbie has also used the flowers that Teresa used. So she's got the violet ones, which I hadn't shown you. And somewhere on my table, I have lost the blue ones, so I'm not sure where they've gone. But so she paired both of them because, as I said, the lavender and the teal are used throughout this collection. But in addition, there's something else. There are these glittery butterflies, and they are just wonderful. There is a limited quantity, I do have to tell you, but that's what she's placed here and here and here. And that's something that, oh, and up here too. Something I really like about this paper collection is that you can add butterflies, you can add flowers, you can add whatever you want. And with the teal and the lavender, I think they would even go masculine too. So that's really nice. So you can see how she's really played with the flowers there, added the butterflies. This is the same dazzle set, the 99 words. And I think this is just a really, really fun collection. So that's nice to see. I want to make sure that our scrapbookers definitely get some attention. Well, I guess the other thing that she added was the purple jewel dazzles, just the same thing that Teresa added on her page. So that works nicely. Now, I have another card to show you. Now, the scrapbook page and this card, Steve, we can get in closer again, are both on the insert to the paper collection. So when you buy the papers, you'll see these projects. And for this, Debbie, we'll get back to Teresa in just a second, but Debbie has used one sheet of paper. It's this one, so you can see this is going into the blue area. The back of it has this gold finish, and that is what Debbie used here. So you can see there is that first area right here. Of course, first she covered her paper, or her card with this paper, and then she cut a piece here, and then cut a circle, and we have our new circle, 12 circle and scallop cutting dies are going to be available actually by the time this airs, so you will see them. The Happily Ever After, that's part of the 99 words dazzles, but something else is here, and these are the jewel flowers. Now, these are very special and are limited, but aren't they perfect with this? And then she's done a ribbon. This is our 1/8 inch ribbon collection, so you can see, and this is the fancy border dazzles. On the inside, well, she didn't finish the inside of her card, so I won't show that to you, but there it is, and you see yet another page from the collection, so that works nicely. Let's get back to Teresa, because I'm anxious to show you what she has done so beautifully for us. And let me scoop my stuff over so I've got a good hand at it. Look at this card. Now, I think it's really interesting what Teresa has done, because the Twirls and Swirls are really a generous size, but she decided to make it smaller and to take it into a smaller size. So this is a 5-inch square card. So she simply took our cards and trimmed them down. And then let me show you the papers that she used. So this first one, and I've got it trimmed out, so let me show it to you. Okay, so the paper looks like this, except it's got this piece, okay? And Teresa first, on her card, put the a smaller piece down on the bottom on her card front. So she just placed it down. And then she took one of our doilies and glued it right there in the corner. Okay, so we're ignoring this thing that's happening on the front. So she's just got the swirl paper and has placed it on her card. She's put the doily down. Then she cut this piece. Let me get it out of the way so it's not bothering us. And she took it and then folded down the corner. So she measured about 1 inch there and about 1 inch here. So let me get this up. And then simply folded that down. And you can see that it is purple on the back side. As a matter of fact, let me show you. It has a border like this, but the part that she wanted on the other side was up here. So she's got all of that left. But doesn't that do a nice job? It's a good way to use double-sided paper. So she went to place this down, but first she did a couple of things. Now, we have the washi, glitter washi, and I have to tell you, the glitter does not come off, okay? So I'm rubbing it, it's not coming off, so that's good news. 2 widths, and so she placed one strip down toward the bottom, and this is the narrow strip, okay? Then she took our white jewel dazzles borders, so these are the borders, and placed a white border on each edge. That works really nicely. Then after she glued this to the card front, she put the same dazzles along the edges. So that worked nicely too. And she went back to add the flowers, and again, these are the sky flowers so going into the blue colors. And I think the combination of the doily, of course the papers, and the border dazzles in white is just a really pretty combination. Now, along these swirls, let me show you about those when we get inside the card. And inside the card, there is another couple things that are going on. Number one, I showed you that we have the cutout, so there it is. On the back side of the cutouts, there's this swirl paper. So that's what Teresa has used a strip here. And that's a good way to go for you too. And she ended up using the wider washi tape. Here it is, right here. Same idea, where she's got the white border dazzles on each side, and then on the edge of the paper, she put a doily down and then cut out her cutout and put it on top. Then she added some of the dazzles. Now the dazzles that she has here, in addition to the border, is this. and this is the 629 Heart Dazzles. So there are 7 sheets in here, and let me show them to you. So you're getting a whole variety of goodies here, and you can see that the one I have on the front is the one that she has used. So you can see the hearts, and that's where these swirls came from, is this sheet. Now she elected to use the white one. She certainly could have gone gold if she wanted to, or black, but she elected to stay everything with white. And so that just worked so nicely. Now the other thing that she did is she used the glitter ink. This is from Crafter's Companion. And Steve, can we get in closer? I want to show those flowers. So she just brushed it onto the flowers. Now the other way you can apply it, now this is with a paintbrush. Maybe I should turn it right side up so you can read it. It's the Glitter Sparkle ink. Is you can use their pen. It does the same thing where you just brush it on. So you have 2 options for adding some really pretty shine to this card. And a little bit of sparkle. Did I mention it won't rub off? Why, yes, I bet I did. So that's going to work nicely too. So really, really pretty. Now, you could have gone with our teal ribbon. I just want to make sure that you know that that's another option. So we've got the white, we've got the teal, and we have the lavender. You can see how well they go with the papers, because we really want the papers to look beautiful and to be well coordinated. Wouldn't you agree? Now I have 2 more cards from Teresa, and this one is really different. So let me show you. In the gallery, under the directions for this card, you'll see the card image. Click on that. Then go down to the supply list. At the end of the supply list, you'll see download. The download will give you this as a download. And this is the shape of the card. So you can print that out, trace it onto, or just lay it on top of your cardstock and cut it out. Now these broken lines are always score lines, and the solid lines are always cut lines. So you'll have that. And Teresa, in order to make this card, has made it out of purple cardstock. So here's the card laid out. Maybe I should show you this card and kind of walk you through what happens with it. So here's our front, then the first opening, and then the second opening. Isn't that nice? I think it's always fun to see cards in stages, because you can really just see the thought. You know, it's like, oh, well, that's pretty. Oh, happy Valentine's Day. You are loved. A great big solid, you are loved. Very, very nice. And some extra embellishment. Okay, so here's the way you do it. Download that pattern, cut it out of cardstock. Then I'm going to do this like Teresa did and just kind of walk you through it. So you've got this base. Now each section has something going on, of course, because this is our Teresa. Now for the first section, there are 2 things going on. Number 1, there is a pattern paper, and I'll show you where it comes from. Remember this sheet we had for our scrapbook page? Well, Teresa elected to use some area up here to be this piece. So it gives you this really pretty soft color as a background. Now in this card, she's using bits and pieces of the papers. In fact, she's done that with several of the cards. So with 12 sheets of papers, you can get a lot of cards out of this collection as well as scrapbooking. So that's the first one. Then for the bottom of it, she has added this purple glitter washi tape. Yeah, we're loving the glitter washi tape. So the wide piece there, and then the narrow piece there. Like always, Teresa puts those on first before she attaches the paper to her card base. So that works nicely. Now, for this piece, well, Teresa used, let me make sure I'm right, she used the back side of this same paper. Okay, the one that she used on the front, she used the back side of it. So you can see these swirls, and that's where she used right here. Now, that was matted on the same cardstock that she used to create her card. And then she added that same dazzles that I just showed you, the 629 heart dazzles. Well, in here, there is a pink pearl set, and that's what creates that big, beautiful heart on the front. Then she added some of our 49th and Market flowers, although I do think that the glitter ones could look really pretty there too. And that's all she's done to the front. Opening this up, she's added more of the dazzles right here, the pink ones to go on the purple. Now for this one, she has gone with the gold pearl. That's also in the same collection. So we've got this, she's added gold and pink together. I'm not sure if you can see that color difference. In person, I can see it. Happy Valentine's Day. Now, she's done something here that I think is really subtle and really charming, and it is right here. So this paper that has the border in the middle, she has taken this section right here and used it, so just coming from the top down and measuring it. Again, the measurements are there. And you see that little indent? Well, she put a heart there. And I think it's kind of like a leaf is holding that heart. And I think it's just a really charming detail. So Teresa, I saw it and I think it's darling. So I just wanted to make sure that you saw it too. Now we've got another layer. So we're going to add another of the pink hearts. And then this, we're going back to our paper from the very beginning, and we've taken another section. Teresa's taken another section. You can see it right there. And she's cut that out, more of her washi tape and more of the 99 dazzles. So really, really nice. And if you're like me, I know you're going to download that pattern and you're going to keep it because it's going to come in very handy. Now, for our last card, continuing with that Valentine theme, Teresa has used our regular 5 by 6.5 inch blank card. You can see that she's placed one of the swirl papers there. Then in the blue, then a purple one right there. So the light colors are doing nicely. She's gone back to the white border dazzles, top and bottom and middle. Then she has taken our new heart message dazzles. Now this is a collection of 6 sheets. They're all the same pattern, and I've pulled the backing off of it. So you can see these message hearts in all of these colors. So what Teresa did, and I'll lift one up for you. So when she lifted it up, it evacuated the words. So she placed each of these onto white cardstock and then went back and added any of the little innies that needed to like that inside of the B, just to make it, and that little piece between the I and the N of mine. So place it on the white cardstock, and then she used the narrow or the thin scissors, the 4.5 inch scissors, to cut around it. Very simple cutting. And then she placed them right on her card front. So some of them are glued down, some of them are on foam tape, just to give a little bit of movement to those. Notice that they're kind of wiggly. Well, that's what she's done across the edge of it. Now on the inside of her card, she used yet another piece of the paper. This one has swirls with gold and another of the purple. And this is one of the ovals that does not have words in it. So you can see it, it's right there. See how handy that is? It's just asking to have, well, don't you think, hearts placed on it? And we were really happy that we were able to get all of these colors, all of these soft pastel colors, kind of looking like the famous conversation hearts. And then we did do another sheet of this red glitter because, you know, what's hearts without red? So we felt like that was needed. You know, you can see what Teresa's done. She's gone back to those white border dazzles, placed one on the edge, one here, another one, another, and then on this horizontal piece, in fact, 2 of them on each edge, more hearts in the middle and big hearts in that oval. And that is just some of the things that you can do with your creativity and Swirls Upon Twirls paper pack. It's brand new, hot off the press. We're very excited by it, and something brand new to see. And you can see many of the things that Teresa used down below. You can see that. For people watching this on paperwishes.com, over I think on that side is the Money Saver. We want you to take advantage of that if you're interested. Certainly if you're watching this on YouTube, head on over to paperwishes.com, because you too can take advantage not only to get that download of the pattern, but also to take care of that Money Saver. Thank you so much for joining us. I know Teresa appreciates it. We all do at Paper Wishes, and we'll see you next time.